So Theresa May is on course to get her Brexit bill through Parliament with a huge majority. But has she managed that by stabbing her Brexit critics in the back? Because I understand Mrs May met with leading Tory critics at 1 o'clock yesterday. Nicky Morgan, Alistair Burt, Dominic Grieve, to hammer out a deal which meant they would be happy to support her Brexit bill. And that deal, which was a form of words which they agreed with, basically meant that all options would be on the table when Mrs May came back from Brussels with her proposed Brexit deal. And they would, in effect, be able to send her back to the negotiating table if she failed to get any deal at all. So they were happy with that. They left and they were ready to support Mrs May. Then in the Commons, the Brexit Minister, David Jones, initially read out the form of words that had been agreed. Everyone was happy. However, in the next hour or so, Mr Jones gradually backtracked and backtracked and backtracked, so that in the end, the deal they had agreed had disappeared, and instead the government had adopted the most hardline position of all, namely that if Mrs May failed to get any deal, then that was it. She would simply walk out of the European Union and there is nothing MPs could do about it. Now the question is, why did that happen? And there are two schools of thought which are basically cock-up or conspiracy. The cock-up view is that David Jones just found himself pushed into a corner, or just was sloppy in his use of words and ended up with this very hardline stance. The conspiracy view is that Mrs May pulled the rug from under her Brexit rebels. In other words, she got them to agree to back her and then withdrew the deal. The truth is, no one quite knows whether it was Mrs May doing the dirty or whether it was just David Jones dropping the ball. But it comes to the heart of the whole Brexit issue, and it is this: do you trust Theresa May? Because some rebels don't trust her. They believe she is heading for the hardest of hard Brexit. Other rebels believe they can trust her, and she doesn't want to go for the hardest of hard Brexits, but is simply having to adopt this position because of her own Brexiteers and because she has to play a game of bluff with the EU. But it is absolutely crucial to what happens with Brexit, namely, do you trust Theresa May, and what is it she's really up to?